It's broken!
Yay! I told you! I
don't understand that. Okay, hold on.
There we go. It's working.
There,
I
it's
told
working.
you! Oh boy, I don't know what just happened.
We're removing a scene.
Are we?
Yes. I removed an entire scene from OBS because every time it breaks, I switch to that scene and switch back, and that's what fixes it. So I deleted the other one. Maybe that fixed it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just making stuff up. It doesn't matter because it's TRU Talk, guys. Welcome to the show where we are plagued by technical difficulties right at the beginning, always.
Of every show.
No, it didn't happen last week.
It happened before last week.
It happened before the show started.
After the show ended, you were having major technical difficulties.
We don't talk about that. So, guys, as always tonight, I am joined by Mallet Editor. We are both in interesting moods tonight, as you can tell. And we have our wonderful guest, LumberJack Allen. What's up, man? Welcome to the stream.
How's it going? Good. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, dude. I'm so glad we could get you on here. So, guys, if you haven't seen the show before, we always bring on one of the wonderful TRU affiliates in the TRU gaming community. We take some time, we get to know them, and then we talk about all things gaming and Twitch news. We've got more Twitch news this week than we normally do.
For once.
Which is interesting, because usually it's mostly gaming. But we have some Twitch stuff to talk about.
Ooh.
But first, like I said, we got to get to know LumberJack Allen here. So, first things first, if you've seen the show, you know the questions that are coming, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
Can you give us a brief overview of who you are as a streamer, what your channel's about, and how you got started on Twitch?
Well, I want to first address my nickname first because it's actually really funny. I really enjoy my nickname because like no one knows what to call me because my name is just absurdly LumberJack Allen, so it's a little cumbersome. So I want to address that LJ is like the official like nickname. I got started last June actually because all of my friends went on a trip without me because I had to work and I couldn't get the 2 weeks off to go. So
it's a long
trip.
I
was like, yeah, they went through all of Europe and
they went without you?
Yeah, right? Like
so messed up.
Well, I mean, to be fair, they gave me the allotted time and they wanted to go. Everyone, like, we were all saving up for it. And work just bit me in the butt. It wasn't their fault. Like, you know, and I just couldn't go.
I've dealt with that.
So it was like middle of June and I was like, you know what? I enjoy gaming. I've been thinking about doing it. And especially now that I'm kind of lonely, let's go make friends on Twitch. You know, the heck with it. And so I just started streaming like, you know, Rocket League and Skyrim and stuff like that. Just stuff that I enjoyed. I think what really like caught like for me to catch on I think was Stardew Valley was actually what
fun game
got me. Yeah, I love that game. It's a super chill game. It's you know, and so I think that's what caught the traction, and I just played that throughout. And yeah, I think Stardew Valley is what I attribute like my Twitch. I don't want to say success, but at least like people liking me.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Stardew's a fun one, especially with the with the multiplayer and stuff they added into it. That game is so fun, but also it's just like you said, so chill. It's so relaxing. Like you can just kind of just zone out and play it almost if you want to.
Yeah, and I'm actually excited for there's a new update that they're gonna do. They said it was gonna come out in June, but who knows?
Who knows?
Sounds about right.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean they're kind of with their updates. They say a date and then it gets pushed back every time. But their updates are always great. But they're doing a thing where they're actually having like separate money, like so everyone has their own pool of money that you make that day, which has actually been something that people have been like asking for.
That's cool.
And then they have a new map that they're gonna add, which is called Four Corners, and it's like wood chopping, mining, you know, like all of the separate different stuff that you can have on one map. So if it's like raining or something, you can just stay on your base or something. So it's a cool little update, and I think it's something everyone was looking forward to. So
Sounds pretty cool.
Really excited for it.
I might have to check it out again and kind of try to dive back into it. I've been thinking about getting it again on my Switch because I feel like that's like the perfect Switch game, but I have it on PC, so I'm like, it's a hard sell for me to buy a game more than once. But this is one that I'm like, man, that would be great to play on the Switch. Just like when you have like a little bit of time to kill, pull it out, knock out a little bit of farming, throw it back in your bag, and move on. I have to look into it. So
I will say, okay, go ahead.
Nope, go right on ahead. I was moving to the next question, but keep going.
All I was gonna say was, if you're used to PC play, Stardew is on the Switch is a little clunky because I have it for the Switch.
Okay.
Like just like on the control, but I mean it's still just as good. But
okay,
that's my only thing. If you're a control freak, like you don't like the controls and stuff, like
nah.
But
it doesn't really bother me. I've got now that I switch between like PlayStation and Switch and Xbox and different things like that, and the X button is in 3 different places. I guess that's fair. I can't be picky anymore. I just have to adapt and overcome. So we know the shorter version of the name LJ. Where did the name come from? What's the story behind the long drawn out one?
So, my name's Alan, and actually during the past 2 summers, I was actually not like a full-time lumberjack, but I was actually like just doing garden work, and part of that would be like chopping down trees and like breaking it down. So, and plus like at various times when I'm wearing a flannel and my beard is growing, I look like a lumberjack. And so just part of being like looking like a lumberjack and actually being one, I was like, it's too simple. People call me a lumberjack anyways. So
perfect.
The name just kind of fell in place.
Yeah, makes sense. And is that on your hat? Is that your logo?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I thought it was.
Oh, it's so cool.
It looks good. I like it. I thought that's what it was.
Yeah, I was doing a charity event, and so I got like 12 hats made, and just anyone who donated, or I think it was like top 12 who donated, got a hat. And then there was like one extra, and I was just like, I'm just gonna slide that for me.
There you go, man.
Hey.
Perfect. That's good advertisement. If you have your own merch, don't feel weird wearing it around. Like the guy for Metallica who always wore a Metallica shirt. It's like a meme in the metal world. Or if you have like Twitch gear, definitely don't be afraid to wear that out, because I have like a Twitch hat, and I don't know how many times that started conversations with people who are either like, I don't know what that is, will you tell me? Or say like, oh, my significant other watches Twitch, like my boyfriend, my girlfriend, or my brother, sister, whoever. Or I love Twitch. What do you stream? Like,
Exactly.
so many conversations about it.
Yeah, I had a guy walk up to me in a bar once. I've got like this off the shoulder Twitch sweatshirt thing. You pair it with like a tank top or whatever, blah, 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 fat women's fashion. But yeah, so it's like, no, I had this dude come up to me in a bar, and it's like just like Twitch in this giant white letters on the front of it, and this guy just comes up to me. He's like, oh my gosh, are you a streamer? It's like, yeah. Here, have a business card.
Exactly. That was going to be my next thing, is business cards. If you wear those things are good. That's your weekly streamer advice from
That's actually, I never thought of that. So yeah, there you go.
Well, you can get like
great.
500 business cards from Vistaprint for really cheap, and it's great. Like, especially if you're like me and you go to conventions all the time, or you're just out in public trying to advertise your stream. Like, you actually leave your house. I don't very often, but I love conventions. So it's great to have the business cards, because then instead of somebody like, oh, well, let me, write down your social or something like that, you can just say, here.
Yeah.
So
plus it's like, a lot more professional too.
It is.
Exactly.
I have 2 things to add on that. One thing that is nice if you don't have a business card on you is just to basically be like, oh yeah, sure, I'll type it in, and just type it in Twitch and then follow, and then they know exactly where you are. The other thing that's really nice, especially like more and more places seem to be doing this, especially like local places and coffee shops. They have tons of places where you can set your business cards. So just swing by those places and put like 3 or 4 of them down, even like 10, depending on how many you bought. And people go look at those things a lot more than you think they do. Because I know every time I go to any place that has them, I go check it out to see if there's anything new that I haven't seen that I'd be interested in. So if you have it very obvious that you're a streamer, people may not be a lot, but free business basically.
Any revenue is or any flow is good flow, through
For
your
sure.
stream. So.
Yeah, so that's your free Twitch advice of the week that you may not have thought of.
Ding ding.
So LJ, the last question we ask everyone is, what is it that keeps you motivated on Twitch, and what do you love about Twitch so much?
Well, the first part of the question, up until I actually got into true gaming, was it was just a lot of fun. I got to meet people, and I was just having a blast. And then actually through Steamer, who I already knew, and then Memory Card, they told me about true gaming, and I was like, okay. And then I applied and got on, and I was like, okay, now I have something, I have a community that I'm a part of, and it's it's kind of making it a little bit more real, even if my channel isn't super huge. It's just okay, there's people out there who do care, even if, no matter what you're and it just helps you keep going and going. And then I think the thing I love about Twitch is that compared to because I've tried streaming on YouTube, and first Twitch seems to actually kind of care, even if it's still you feel kind of corporate-y. Twitch actually feel kind of has this we care about you, we try to take care of you kind of a thing. And plus the community is a lot cooler, it's a lot more responsive, people are actually oh hey, you're actually on my thing, and I also like going on Twitch because of I generally try to avoid some of the bigger channels. I try to network connect through smaller channels. Not to say I don't follow some of the big ones that I like, but it's a good way to meeting new people who are doing it and aren't on the same level as you are.
Mm-hmm.
So
makes sense.
Yeah.
I tried YouTube 2 or 3 times, and it was dead the whole time. No one even stopped by anything. And the more that I looked at it, I feel like there wasn't a lot of discoverability on there, because you're sifting through live stuff and pre-recorded and edited stuff, and it's it to me it felt muddy and got real jumbled, and I was just kind of I don't like this. This isn't for me. And then I moved back to Twitch.
feeding right off of that. I mean, Twitch has its own section of small channels that you may that whole section alone is just people who are 0 to 10 views and viewers or whatever, and just smaller channels for you to oh hey, this guy looks more genuine than or whatever. And
exactly. Exactly. All right. So then, LJ, do you have anything else you want to add that we maybe didn't cover right now? You'll have plenty of chances throughout the show if something comes up. Is there anything just off the top of your head that you didn't tell anyone that you want them to know?
No, not really. Oh, actually, one thing, just on a friendly tip, if you're starting in Twitch, make sure you just to keep yourself motivated, feeding off that topic, make sure you set a schedule that actually works. Don't just stream because you feel you have to. Stream because you want stream because you want to, because there was a point where I was trying to do it every day, and I'm that's not working. This is a drag.
Yeah, I feel that. And there's and it's kind of hard too to make the schedule, because I mean, if you're full time, it's a little bit easier because you can do it whenever you want to. But even then, you're trying to fit into oh, I'm going to get people in this time slot or this time slot, but you can't be live all the time. So you're not always going to be able to reach every single person. But then you throw in, if you have another job, if you have kids, if you have other hobbies and responsibilities, and it's man, making a schedule just for anything is so hard.
Oh, my toilet just clogged.
Yeah.
I need to go fix it.
Yeah, or just stuff that comes up and you're crap, now I got to deal with this. And if it's and it never fails, it's right before you go live.
Exactly.
You've got everything up and ready to go. You might even have your starting screen up with some music playing, and then the cat knocks off a glass and shatters it, and there's water or whatever everywhere and glass shards, and you're well, shit. Now I got to go deal with this. All right, guys, I'll be back in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Or that's when the technical difficulties happen, as you have seen plenty of times.
You're going to jinx it.
Well, I had one the other day that I was talking about that like my cameras worked until I hit go live and then none of them worked anymore. And I was like, I don't understand.
Exactly.
So while we're talking about frustrating things, we're going to cover it.
Want a bottle to hit something over the head with?
It's a short one. Randy Pitchford's at it again, folks. So I did not read through all of this Twitter exchange and tweet because he's just stressing me out at this point. But basically, he recently had a Twitter Twitch tweet, where he was responding to a video and or tweeted out a video about animal cruelty, and was kind of cool with it. So, how has nobody at this point been like, dude, stop it?
Because he makes the money and doesn't have anybody that he answers to.
But you gotta think, even if there's not like a business person or someone in the company, there's gotta be like just someone who's like a family member or a friend who's like, dude, stop it.
Well, I feel like, I mean, most corporations have like a round table like business, you know, like who can like, if they all collectively are like, yeah, this guy needs to go,
Mm-hmm.
you know, even if he's the head guy, like they can say like, you're done, you know, and I think it's just like, I think it's just really poor timing on top of like everything else that this guy's like going through legally, you know? And like, if he had just phrased that tweet a little better and wasn't already in a shit ton of shit, this wouldn't be a thing, you know? But like, he phrased the tweet very poorly, and to the point of where like people like, because it's like kind of, it's like such a weird tweet. I've never seen a tweet phrased that way, you know? And then let alone that it's about animal abuse, because like, who was that YouTuber that I think it was. Oh, the quartering. He was like, even if it was like not staged,
I hate that guy.
like there was a whole time period of like where you could have like stopped it instead of laughing and keep filming, you know, like, so it's clearly like animal abuse, and it's just like, dude, don't like.
First of all, don't do that. Second of all, you're the CEO of a company. Don't shut.
You're already in a world of crap. Like, don't like add to your fire.
Yeah. What he needs is a PR firm to take over his Twitter account. He needs to stop tweeting on his own. No, seriously.
Pretty much, yeah.
He needs to stop tweeting. Like, clearly he's shown that he can't be responsible with the Twitter account. He needs to stop tweeting on his own. And if he wants to tweet, it can be perfectly crafted by some intern in a PR company.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's all. Until he, like, seriously, I can think of many people in the world who need that.
A lot of people have that, and more people need it at this point.
No, I know. I used to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I used to be one of those interns in a back room writing tweets for corporate accounts. It's very easy to do, but then you have people, like, you have layers of checks and balances and stuff like that. He's very clearly shown himself unable to be responsible with the Twitter account, and all he's doing is bringing the company's stock, and whether it's in public, the stock in the public opinion, or it's actual monetary stock, I'm not sure if it's a public company or not, all he's doing is bringing that down.
Well, I mean, like, and like I've seen several tweets already, because he's like, his company's in charge of Borderlands 3, and there's already numerous tweets of people who are either already on the fence or were kind of interested in the game, or like, I'm not buying this, you know, like, I don't want this. And like, even if it's not that many games that he loses, that's still money that he lost because of a tweet. Like, if someone was like, you're gonna lose $600 if you tweet this, I'm like, I'm not tweeting that. Like, it just like
maybe that's how somebody should put it to him. Someone out there needs to take a tally of every person who said they're not buying Borderlands 3 because of something that Randy Pitchford has done. Not because it's going to the Epic Store. I don't care about those people. If it's because of something that he has said or done on Twitter, we just need to send him a daily tweet update of, this is how much money you won't make if these people don't buy the game because of what you tweeted. And maybe he'll finally go, oh, man. Maybe I am an idiot.
Speaking of tallies, I've just decided we need to have, like, tally markers in the corner of this podcast showing the number of times we've yelled at certain subjects. So Randy Pitchford,
EA, Epic
the
Launcher.
Epic Store. We just need a counter in the upper right-hand corner.
I don't think we
showing
can
how
do
many
that because
times we-
eventually the whole screen will just be tally marks at this point. The way this keeps going,
No, not like marks. We just keep a counter.
just a number, just like 5.
Yes.
This week we're at 12.
This week we're at 6 million. And I would be
Right.
old and gray by then.
I don't know. The way this is going, it may just be next month.
We need to do that. I've decided we need to do that. All in favor, say yep.
Just change the background to like it'll just be a background thing where it looks like it's an insane asylum of like marks of like how many.
All in favor of this. All in favor of this. Type F in the chat.
Okay, so I mean, I don't really know what else to say about him at this point. Like, I don't know. Mallet, like you said, clearly maybe he doesn't need to be the one tweeting, and maybe he's not fully okay. And if that's the case, someone needs to get him help. But right now, I agree with you. I think they need to take his Twitter away. You put him in timeout, take his Twitter away, and let him think about what he did.
Yeah.
Okay, Mallet, you're pretty much probably gonna take this next topic because we're gonna talk about some Overwatch stuff. I'm just gonna tell the people what it is, and I'll just let you take it away because this is gonna be like your golden topic tonight. So the Overwatch League commissioner announced that he will be leaving Activision Blizzard and going to Epic Games. Mallet, take it away.
Okay. So Nate Nanzer, he's the commissioner of the Overwatch League. So for those of you who don't watch that, that's the professional Overwatch circuit, basically. He's the commissioner. He helped build it from scratch last year, and he announced that he will be heading to Epic. Bum, bum, bum. People joke about, obviously there's been all the whole tweets about, oh, we wish you well, blah, blah, blah. And I mean, it's a bit of a coup for Epic, I think, because Nate Nanzer legitimately built the Overwatch League from scratch. There's obviously pro esports. There's pro esports who travel. There's pro a lot of things. But to do something on the scale that was done with the Overwatch League, where you've got teams based, right now they're all based in LA, but this year they expanded and they added travel. And eventually the goal is to have like home bases like the NFL or the NHL. So it's actually interesting that he decided to leave. There's been no announcements yet as to who will be taking over as commissioner. He's leaving next week as of 2 days ago. So right now we're mid-season in the Overwatch League. We just hit the All-Star games halfway through the stages. So there are 2 more stages to go and then the championship, and that's the end of season 2. So hasn't been an announcement yet as to who's taking over as commissioner. There hasn't really been an announcement as to what he's... Actually, wait, no, they have. Hold on, I just saw that. Pete Vlas... I cannot pronounce that last name. Holy crap.
What?
Starts with a V, and I'm going to ignore that, and he'll be taking over as the new commissioner. It'll be interesting to see what he does. He has a great foundation in place. What the rumors are about where the Overwatch League is going is next season there supposedly aren't going to be any new teams, and the goal is to start having travel. So, which will be difficult to coordinate because if you think you got 3 teams in China, you've got 1 team in Korea, one in France, 1 in England. So, and then the rest are all US based, but we're talking, that's a fair bit of travel.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like apparently the next big goal, because this year they expanded, they added 8 teams. So now they're going to see if they can do the whole travel overseas thing. And then I think they're going to expand again after that. High hopes for a team near me, fingers crossed. But it'll be interesting. He's got a good foundation to work with, but one man can make or break pretty much anything.
Mm-hmm.
Randy Pitchford, excuse me.
So who is it that's taking over? Can you spell the name for me?
Well, his first name's Pete.
Okay.
His last name is spelled Vlastelica.
Vlastelica.
Thank you. See, I can't pronounce it either.
Vlastelica.
Yeah, but do you even pronounce the V? That's the real question.
Then it's
is the V
Lastelica.
I don't know. I don't know. It hurts my head.
So, according to his Twitter profile, he's the CEO of Activision Blizzard Esports Leagues.
Yep.
That's what he is before taking over the position.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah, correct.
I feel like that's probably a pretty good person to take it over. Like, they're not just bringing in someone off the street who, because they're a business person. This is clearly someone who has worked in esports for a while. And being able to take someone like that and put them into basically almost not necessarily a lateral move, but he's just going to be working with the Overwatch League versus other Blizzard esports, which aren't, here or there. At this point, I think we have
non-existent.
Well, there's technically Hearthstone and World of Warcraft. They're just not as big. I mean, yes, but they're not as big. So maybe having him just focus on Overwatch is going to be a good thing.
And I mean, it's not like he doesn't have any experience with it. If he was head of all Blizzard esports, then
exactly.
Well, I mean, like, to be fair on Nate's part, it's hard to, like, as much as we hate Epic, it's hard to turn them down right now. Just because, like, they bought Rocket League as well. And so he has an up-and-coming esports game in Fortnite. And regardless of what you think of it as an esports game, is rising in popularity. And then you have Rocket League, which is a game that's been slowly developing its esports. Like, it's been slowly growing and slowly been, like, developing as a league in general. There's so much potential for him, and he's such a, like, from what I read, he's such a great, like, he has a silver tongue, and he knows how to advertise, and he knows his communities well. That, like, the opportunity was for him to not take it was just like he would just been shooting himself in the foot to not take it.
Yeah, absolutely. He had to take it. I mean, Epic's huge right now, and Fortnite shows no sign of slowing down.
Yeah. I mean, they bought out Rocket League, and then one of the developers of, like, I believe, like, Activision went from Activision to Epic. So, like, they're just you can't say no to Epic right now. They just have too much money, and they're throwing it at everyone to, like, develop their games.
Let me put it this way. I went to a convention last year called the East Coast Gaming Convention, and Epic was the headliner. And the very last night of the convention, we all went to this bar downtown, and we were there for a good 4 or 5 hours, and Epic took the entire bar tab for everybody in the room. The limit was $15,000. It was the best party ever. Everybody was so
party to me.
But, like, that's my point. But my point is, like, they're willing to burn the money to schmooze people, because it wasn't just Epic at this conference. Like, Insomniac Games was there, Funcom was there, like, some of these relatively big developers. And I mean, okay, yeah, this was before Spider-Man came out, but Insomniac, it's still even then was still, like, pretty big studio. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it wasn't just Epic, and they were willing to drop $10,000+ on alcohol. Which, granted, I know alcohol's expensive, and that's like 4 drinks, but you get the idea.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. I think it makes a lot of sense. I don't feel like he had any personal issues with Blizzard. I don't feel like he had personal issues with the Overwatch League. I feel like he just made a business decision, and business is business. You got to go where the money is, and it's hard to fault him for. I'm sure Epic said, we're going to give you a lot of money. And he probably went, I'll take a lot of money. And he went and took a lot of money. And it's hard to blame him for that.
It's just, that's the thing is, like, I don't think anyone even took it the wrong way. Because, like, when I saw it, I was afraid people were going to be like, oh, he's, like betraying them. It's like, it's not betrayal if someone is going to slap you, like, 4 times the amount that you're getting paid. I'm like, it's not betrayal. That's just being a smart, like, it's just like his business. Like, he has his bills to pay. He's got, like, whatever to pay, like.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, granted, maybe he doesn't have like as much of an issue paying those bills, but now it's not even like a second thought. Like,
And
and he has,
I agree. I don't feel like it's a betrayal at all because I don't feel like he's really going to like a competitor. I mean, sure, they're both esports, but it's not like they're in competition for business. You know, people watch the Overwatch League, they're going to watch the Overwatch League. People who watch, Fortnite are going to watch Fortnite. And there may be some crossover there, but I'm 100% sure that there are a lot of people who, if both of them were on, will always pick one over the other.
yeah.
And I think it was a business move.
Of course it was.
And as long as it pans out and, Fortnite stays on the rise in esports and Rocket League doesn't die down after it being bought by Epic because of the whole Epic launcher
Epic
thing,
launcher.
Which
Ding.
a lot of people get upset about, but as long as they don't break it, which I don't think they're going to.
Well, I mean, the nice thing is
just
that they're
smart.
keeping it on Steam, so I don't think people really care.
Yet. Until
Like,
they
if you-
stop updating it on Steam.
Yep. That's what they're going to run into is they're going to stop completely supporting it. And eventually, if you're on Steam, you won't get updates anymore. So you'll be on two different versions of the game, and you won't be able to compete anymore if you're playing on the Steam version. Unless for some reason somebody says, we're not using the Epic one in tournaments, we're using the Steam one, which will never happen because then Epic will say, fine, we're not going to help pay for tournaments.
See our podcast a few weeks earlier on this topic.
All right. So, do either of you guys have any more thoughts on him going to Epic? Like I said, I think it's just a business move, and he probably went, "Hey, I can make more money and still continue working in esports." Absolutely.
Money, 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 money.
All right. So that's it for gaming news this week. Actually, believe it or not, we have Twitch news. So I think I want to cover what happened kind of over the weekend first. And then we're going to roll into the other topic of sub-only streams because I feel like that one is going to spark a lot of conversation. But over the Memorial Day weekend, Twitch started suspending new creators from streaming after there was what they are calling a troll attack. So basically, if you've never heard of the game Artifact, which there's a great chance that you haven't, it was a card game being developed by Valve. And it has recently been named the least popular game on Twitch.
Which is weird for a Valve game.
Yeah,
Like,
and it's not like it's an old game. This is new. This isn't a game from like 15 years ago. This is a new game. Well, new-ish. Being that it was the least popular on Twitch, some people decided that they were going to use that directory to stream things that they should not be streaming. So they were streaming movies that obviously should not be streamed on Twitch. They were streaming pornography. There were some things of
the Christchurch mosque attack.
terrorist attacks that have been
in
filmed,
living color.
and they were putting that out there on Twitch. And instead of shutting down the directory, something like that, Twitch just said, you know what? Did you just make an account? You don't get to stream on Twitch.
Well, part of it is because they got embarrassed because they I saw on Twitter from one guy that there was an account streaming porn that was left up there for a good 30 minutes. Even after it had been reported and reported and reported and reported. 30 minutes is a very long time regardless of it being Memorial Day weekend. Given the number of times that I know people reported it, that's a very long time for something like that to be up. They got caught with their pants down.
Yeah.
Literally.
And I don't care if it's Memorial Day weekend or not. And I hate that people have to work weekends and be away from their family and things like that. But guess what? You're a live streaming platform that runs 24/7, that you have to moderate these things. You have to have people doing it. Even if it's from home, people have got to be doing it.
And I mean, like, I think overall what Twitch did, while yes, it was a, like, running around with their heads cut off panic reaction, it's kind of like a normal, like, it's not, I don't necessarily disagree with their actions though, because like I mean, you have to do what you have to do, and I mean, it's kind of like, when you're in elementary school and like the teacher's like, all right, at the end of the week we all get to go outside and do this crazy awesome thing, but if one of you messes it up, then you're all being punished, and this is what it is. Someone messed up and now everyone is getting punished for it, and it's just hard to avoid. Like, like not much you can do. You know,
It's like that time that I had that my 7th grade class decided it would be hysterical to all drop their pencils at the same time. My math teacher lost it. She
Kids
did.
are weird.
No, I know, and it's like it wasn't even that big of a. Like, oh man, she lost it. We had this thing where it's like you could earn minutes to go outside, which was awesome when you were in middle school because you didn't really get that. And holy crap, she like erased all our minutes and like gave everybody who did it like silent lunch for 2 weeks or something like that. It was insane. And I almost did it. I stopped at the last minute.
Ooh, good call.
Very glad to.
But I honestly, I don't know that I have a problem with this. I don't feel like very many people just create an account and then hit go live within like 5 minutes.
Right.
And we have chat functions where you have to have a verified email address before you can chat at all in people's streams. Granted, there's ways around that of having throwaway email accounts, but that starts to limit the people who are going to do it, because some people will get to that point and go, I have to do this extra work. All right, I'm over it. It's not funny. This isn't funny anymore.
Yeah.
So, I think if this is happening and you seeing new accounts get made trying to go live, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think making the platform safer and keeping people from putting things that shouldn't be on there. I don't really care about them streaming movies. Like, it's a Hollywood movie. I don't care about that. To me, that's whatever. That company has made more money than I'll ever see in my entire life. Whatever. It's against their terms of service, and I agree with you. Ban them, but if it's up there,
I'm not going to go out of my way.
If it's up there for 30 minutes, okay, fine, whatever. Yeah. If pornography is up there for 30 minutes, a little bit bigger of a deal. Let me finish. When we have legitimate terrorist attacks that are filmed and are up there for any amount of time, ridiculous.
Exactly.
Yes. Make it so no one's allowed to stream that just created an account.
Mm-hmm.
I think I just going off of I think I technically made an account, and then I think it was a month later before I actually streamed. It was because there's so much you have to do. You have to if you're actually doing this, you have to make sure your hardware is correct. You have to make sure you have a camera that works, and figure out OBS or Slobs or whatever you're using, and figure out Twitch, figure out and granted, it's not all necessarily hard if you know what you're doing, but it's still still a process. You still gotta
do it.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, to give you an idea, I created my account in 2012. I didn't legitimately stream until 2000 and right at the beginning of 2018. So
I didn't know Twitch was around that long.
Yep.
Cool.
But I'm kind of okay with this. I feel like Mallet, you said, they caused it themselves. They should have had people paying attention to this. And, it's a holiday weekend. I get it. Nobody wants to work, but that's part of the gig sometimes. I had to work every holiday weekend for about 8 years straight, and it sucked.
I worked that weekend.
It's part of the gig sometimes. And I think if that's your job, is to moderate a 24/7 live streaming website,
global live streaming,
you might have to work some weekends.
I mean,
especially a holiday weekend, because more people are off work technically, because people have Mondays off. People are doing dumb stuff, and they're going to expect you to not be working because it's a holiday weekend. That's when you need to be there the most.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm fine with the way that they handled it. I think just saying, look, man, you just made an account. I'm sorry, you can't stream yet. Like I said, I don't see that happens often, where somebody's like, I'm going to stream on Twitch, make an account, open OBS, go live within, that X amount of time. It takes some time to get those things ready and set up, even if you know what you're doing.
Heck, OBS takes like 10 minutes to download itself before let alone
let alone getting it all set up. And let's be honest, how many times do things work the first time in OBS?
No, there's
They work fine for me. They work fine for me.
I've had like slobs and OBS just like fail mid live stream, let alone.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Gosh.
So I haven't seen like an update on this.
Me neither.
If this might become more of a regular practice, or how exactly it's going to work out in the future. I don't know. I guess I don't necessarily want them to just blanket ban people from streaming just because they just created an account.
Yeah.
Right.
But I can also see where that can work out well.
I mean, like, it's just kind of like unfortunate because it's like, you know, it's like, especially for like me or like smaller channels, like you don't want people coming in and ruining for you because like this is, I mean, for me it's a hobby, but like for some people they want this to be, they want to be the next Ninja or Tim the Tapman or whoever, like insert top streamer here. They want to be that, you know, that's their aspirations, and people are just gonna go on there and ruin it. Like, you need to take care of it because you don't want people to stop coming to Twitch. And I'd argue that Twitch is like one of the better streaming services out there. Definitely better than like its competitor, its prime competitor in YouTube. Let alone like I know there's like a few others, but I can't name them off the top of my
Mixer and DLive
Mixer,
and that kind of stuff.
definitely. I mean, they're newer, but like they're definitely better than that. And so it's just like, you know, if you want to keep your brand at a high pace, you gotta, you know, sometimes you just gotta lay the hammer down and just be like, I mean, they're already letting people, like, a lot of things kind of slide with like music, you know, what you can play and stuff. Like, they kind of have to have like some rules, like.
Yeah, and that to me that kind of rolls back to like, I don't really care that they streamed Fast and the Furious, like,
Who cares?
or Game of Thrones or whatever, like.
Okay, granted, the Game of
small to
Thrones is over. If it was during like mid-season of Game of Thrones, I might have been salty. But
No,
like,
even then, just
like,
don't click it. That's your fault if you click it, as far as I'm
I
concerned.
know, that's fair.
Yeah.
But like, and to me, like the music thing, like that's just free advertisement for that artist. And I don't know very many musical artists who would be like, absolutely, do not play my music on your stream. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
I
the
mean,
ones
the worst thing Twitch,
like the ones who would, I don't want to play their stuff anyway.
yeah.
And the ones who tried it got so much bad press, he went back on.
Exactly.
I mean, the worst thing Twitch does when you like have like copyrighted music is they just mute your like stream for that day. And I mean, unless you're like making YouTube videos off of it, whatever.
Even then,
No.
if you're making that many YouTube videos off of it, you should probably be recording in OBS too.
Yeah.
Just because that way you know you've got your stuff. I don't know. Do you guys have anything else to kind of add to this? Do you think this was a bad idea? Because it's been a few days and Twitch has not given us an update on when these new accounts will be able to stream again.
They're probably trying to find a solution to make sure this doesn't happen to another low streamed section. Because if they don't have, this is good, but it's a temporary fix.
Yeah, because
they don't-
what's to stop
they
you
need
from
to have
going to the next least popular game?
Exactly. So they need to find something to fix it before they can change it. Otherwise, they're just going to go straight back to it.
Well, cool. Hopefully, Twitch figures out something that works for everyone. You know, LJ, like you said, I agree with you, man. You can't let people come on here and ruin the platform because no one's going to come back to it. It's the same thing that happens with like bars and businesses who let things go on. Like if a bar has a bar fight every single weekend, less and less people are going to go to that bar because they don't want to deal with it. And eventually you're going to go out of business. The same kind of thing happens with this. You know, you constantly are dealing with people who are trolling you or, you know, just trolling people on Twitch and just ruining every single stream that you go to or something like that. People will either stop streaming or they're going to stop watching because they're just going to go, this isn't funny. I don't want to I don't want to deal with you being immature. I'm just going to go watch this pre-recorded YouTube video where I know no one is doing anything bad.
Yeah.
I just won't read the comments. All right, guys.
Exactly.
So the next thing on Twitch news is a little bit more, I think, interesting, and I think brings up a lot of discussion and ideas, and good and bad to me. So Twitch has been testing subscriber only streams. So we have sub only chats, which is if you're not subbed to the channel and that mode is on, you cannot chat in chat, which a lot of the big time people use. Think Ninja, those kind of guys. Sometimes they use that to try to keep up with their chat. Because if not, that you can't read that chat. You still can't read it anyway. Now they're testing streams where if you're not subscribed, you can't watch the stream. We see a lot of things like this with like Overwatch League has you can subscribe and get more things, but I can still watch it for free. What do you guys think about this? Mallet, let me know your thoughts on sub only streams.
I think it can be good in certain situations. The first one is, this is mainly for larger streamers, not me with all my amazing subs, but not nearly enough to justify this. If you run, like, let's just say community streams, or you have like special, like, this is one of your perks for subbing to me, is we have, let's just say, a monthly sub only stream where only you guys get to see it and know what it is. But that would take somebody like a Ninja or a Tin the Tap Man or somebody big enough where you'd be willing to do that for that extra content. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily, me over here, who I'm pretty sure most of my subscribers would just be like, yeah, whatever. And everybody who doesn't subscribe wouldn't care anyway. The other thing I think that kind of thing would be good for is stopping trolls. If you get hit by a troll bomb, like, and I know we've all had it happen where just, 10 people all come in and just start, spewing racist, sexist, whatever the heck, whatever it is, whatever lesbian stuff they decide to call me this week. Something like that could be very good for very quickly stopping those sub bombs instead of sub only chat. Like, I mean, that's another option for it. But I do think the biggest thing that it will work for is it be a sub incentivizer. Right. But I truly think that'll only work for streams. Because I think if you're a smaller streamer, I don't think anybody... I mean, I could be wrong, and I hope I am. But I doubt most smaller streamers would have enough people who would be incentivized to sub just for, like, an extra sub stream. Mm-hmm. What do you guys think?
I mean, I think this is kind of a feed off of, like, I think they saw what YouTube was doing. I don't know if you've, like, been seeing what some YouTube channels have been doing. But, like, some of the bigger YouTube channels, like, they now have, like, not a subscribe, but then you can, like, join kind of a thing, and you can, like, join their community, and then they have, like, you can't see any of their, like, some of these videos that they post, and, like, only if you've joined. So I think this is kind of, like, following what they're doing, because, like, apparently it's kind of working, because there's some channels that I watch, and they have this option, and people are actually doing it, and they're actually, like, they're releasing these videos that only they can see, and it's taking off. So I guess that's their response to it. And like I said, like you were saying, like, I'm not going to be able to do it. I can't justify it. I don't think but it's not a terrible thing. It's just like something like that. If you can do it, you can do it. And then it protects you in the end. But, like, other than that, there's not much to it really, Mm-hmm. I don't think it's a bad or good idea. It's just something that Twitch offers. And
yeah, I've seen it on YouTube as well. Like, one of my favorite channels, it's a channel that actually reviews movies. So it's called Dead Meat, and I love it. MPI, I think I told you about it like a couple weeks ago.
I think so.
But what he does is he's got a Patreon. So this isn't YouTube specifically, but he's got a Patreon. And Patreon subscribers get to see the uncensored videos. So if there's a kill that's way too gory to be put on YouTube, if you're a Patreon subscriber, you can see those videos, but they're hidden. So, me doesn't accidentally see anything. I love the kill count. It's my only way to watch horror movies because I don't die and I don't have to see anything I don't want to see because everything's censored. So, right. But anyway, my point being is, like, there are lots of different ways to do that, but I do think you need to be a certain size to be able to really use it.
Yeah.
And take advantage of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
I think everything you pointed out is pretty much spot on. Like, if you're not a huge streamer, this may not work really well for you. And I know, like, I one of the incentives that I used to do and that we're trying to work on bringing back is, like, for subscribers, we would do a night where the only people who were allowed to play a multiplayer game with me were subscribers. If you weren't subbed, you weren't allowed to play. We didn't, like, open it up to other people. It was subs only, and that was, like, there's, like, a special night where we got together and we could play games together.
Yeah, we don't murder each other.
Right. And you could do that and limit it to where only subs could watch, too. But then at that point, you have your subs watching you while playing the same game with you.
And very likely they have the stream muted because you're talking.
Exactly.
To them.
And to me, if you're doing a sub game night, it's better to have that open to where anyone can come in and watch, because then they'll go, oh, they're having a lot of fun. I want to have fun. I'm going to subscribe so I can have fun. And you get another subscriber out of it.
Exactly.
And that's not going to happen every single time you do these things. But if you have it to where they can't even see it, you're limiting your audience. It's the same thing to me as, like, follower only chat. People all the time are like, I'm going to use follower only chat all the time. And I'm like, that's a terrible idea because you're never going to grow. Do you have trolls coming in? Are you doing a giveaway? Sure, great, use it. But to just, like, immediately, like, start your stream and go, oh, followers only mode, people will follow me so they can chat. Nah, they're just going to move on to another stream.
Right, exactly.
And I like the idea of it's good for trolls. And I'm curious if you're in the middle of a stream, if you can flip to this.
That would be interesting.
I didn't see anything in the article about it.
I don't know if that would be possible, because, like, what if there are people already in there subscribers? Then what do they do?
Well, like, what I'm looking at now is when they kind of announced it and teased it a little bit, there's a free preview of, like, X amount of minutes, and if you want to keep watching, you hit subscribe.
I see.
If you don't, then it goes away. So maybe this is something where it's like, if you switch to that, you get like a minute or however long of a free preview before it's like, hey, if you don't subscribe, you're going to get kicked out.
Yeah. Or maybe it just switches to an ad.
Yeah, maybe it rolls an ad and then you're stuck in adception forever. And it could be, that could be used for good and bad. If you have trolls coming in and it's a lot of them, that can be good to switch to that. The bad thing can be, if we talked about this a little while ago with the streamers who were playing Mortal Kombat and demanding money. They could say, okay, we're coming up on this big boss battle. You've been waiting for it this whole time. Oh, sub-only mode. If you don't sub, you don't see the boss fight. What are you going to do? And then people are going to either, fine, I'll pay the $5, or they're going to say, fine, I never want to be in your stream again.
Right.
Which, I mean, if you do that and people say they don't want to come back, you kind of earned it, as far as I'm concerned.
Exactly.
And I don't think it would take long for that to happen. But as soon as one person does it, you know it's going to break news on Dextro, because that's all they do is type about drama. And then everyone's going to try to do it for a little while.
Yeah.
And then it's just going to be another kind of ugly thing on the platform where everyone who is either not a regular streamer or starting out is, well, you're just trying to play video games and make millions of dollars and all that kind of stuff that people talk about all the time with Twitch.
I'd love $1 million. Somebody give me $1 million.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'll use it to murder people.
Don't say that.
Why not? It's fun.
Don't say that.
Why not?
You know what? I could never defend you in a court of law, because all of these things would just come up. They'd be like, look, Your Honor, clearly she murdered him.
That's why you're not a lawyer. Last I checked.
Yeah, but even a good lawyer, they would be like, she said she's going to do it. And they could be like, well, she was joking. We don't know that. We don't know what she means.
It's not that hard to hide a body anyway.
You're making it worse.
I know lots of good places.
Yeah, I mean, I see the good and the bad in this, just like everything else that comes out. I'm curious to see how it rolls out and how it kind of works in everything. I don't see it being particularly useful unless you're a very big streamer, or if you're going to do like a once a month type of thing, where it's like, hey, once per month we do a special sub-only stream where only subs can watch and play games. And then maybe the other 3 days of that same day, like let's say every Monday you do it, the first Monday, the last Monday of the month would be a good one to do the sub-only watch and play. Because that's been like, hey, these are 3 weeks leading up to it that if you like it enough, you can sub to still watch or play. But I don't think it's something to use regularly.
I like the other option I see what happens is that no one uses it, forgets about it or whatever, and then Twitch is just like, okay.
That's the other possibility. How many Twitch things have come out and everybody's like, oh yeah, that's right, they made that.
Yeah, and then they
Twitch
just like
premieres.
Okay. Yeah. It's like the idea that they just to make some extra money on that for them, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, oh well.
And the bigger concern that I run into with this is esports competitions trying to use it.
Exactly.
So
if that's what happens, then that's at esports' fault, not Twitch's fault. That's
I agree with you, but Twitch has given them the weapon.
Yeah.
So my concern is like Call of Duty is going to be like, look, man, if you don't pay that $5 for this one weekend, you can't watch the tournament. Or worse, you can't watch Championship Sunday.
Yeah. For Overwatch, at least, they've been showing it on actual TV lately. So I'll just go downstairs to the live building and watch it there. But so many of us just don't have cable anymore.
I don't have
because
cable.
Why?
Yeah.
It's not. I don't get it for free anymore, like I did when I lived in an apartment. Now that I live in a house, I'd have to pay for it. Absolutely not. I will not pay for it.
Well, I just think it's stupid.
Like, what is there to pay for? Like, if I have YouTube, I have Netflix, and I have Twitch, like, I don't need anything.
Right.
And you can just illegally stream football games, and that's all you need.
Exactly. Reddit's
some of them
amazing.
you can watch on Twitch if it's Thursday.
Yeah.
I know.
Which is still really cool to me.
Yeah, except the last time I had a Thursday night game, my team got completely destroyed.
Yeah, it happens.
It was bad.
Oh,
hey,
okay.
It's an odd numbered year, and we're gonna destroy you guys.
Okay, real quick. I'm just talking about football. I'm from Minnesota, so I'm a Vikings fan.
Wow.
Listen.
Could be worse. Could be worse.
Yeah, fair.
Could be a Patriots or a Packers fan.
Yeah. So I have a actual someone got me a drinking horn, an actual Viking drinking horn.
That's cool.
It's badass.
I went to the Panthers versus Vikings game, not this past season, but the season before.
Oh, the one
had
where
a
we
winning
won.
record. No, we won.
Oh, okay, 2 seasons.
I was there. We definitely won.
Okay.
Believe me, because I'm a Panthers fan. My friend was a Vikings
that was the one
fan.
we came back, but then still lost.
Because Cam had like a 70-yard run at the end, and
I was thinking the year before that where we had 8 sacks and destroyed him in Carolina.
Yeah, that was an even numbered year. You laugh. The data backs me up.
I'm a Vikings fan. I can't believe in anything. I don't believe in anything until the Super Bowl is actually in our hands. Other than that,
you should never in general anyway,
Yeah.
unless it is in your hand.
Let me put it this way: these two facts are both true. Okay, so fact number 1: the Panthers once made the playoffs 3 years in a row. Right, 2013, 2014, 2015. Fact number 2: the Panthers have never had back-to-back winning seasons. Ever.
Somehow I thought you were gonna say they won by surprise or something. I don't know where I thought that was going.
No, we just made the playoffs with a 7-8-1 record. It's terrible. And then we somehow won the first round because Arizona went to their fourth string quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah, whenever people are like, "Ew, you're a Vikings fan," I'm like, listen, I'm not saying I'm special. We suck.
Y'all beat the Saints that one time, and I'm forever grateful.
That one time.
On a fluke play that should never have happened, but yeah,
I am forever grateful.
All right. Do we have any other thoughts on the Twitch subjects that we came for? We can start a separate football podcast if we want to.
We need to.
It won't be a good podcast. It will literally just be Mallet and I yelling at each other that we hate each other's teams. And that's it. That's the whole thing. Just,
okay, so
I
Carolina,
hate your team. I hate your team. That's it.
What is your team that if
He's a Cowboys
I'm a Cowboys fan.
There's worse fan bases, I guess.
We had one of the podcasts we had a few weeks ago was on draft night, so we both wore our jerseys.
Yep. Oh, there's a lot worse fan bases out there.
Yeah.
Raiders.
I'm dating a Patriots fan.
Why? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Because he's hot.
I'm kidding.
Wow, that's the only reason. It's like, I don't care about his personality. I don't think he's a good guy or anything, but he's hot. He's hot, though.
I also think he's a great guy.
Yeah, okay. It's okay.
But he's hot.
All right, guys. So do we have anything to add about Twitch subscriber-only streams or any of the other topics that may have come to mind after we argued about football?
No.
Cool.
No, I think we covered everything.
All right. So then, LJ, where can people find you, man? Twitch, Twitter, all the social medias, and what do you got going on with your stream?
So, obviously, I'm on Twitch. I'm on Twitter, twitter.com/LumberJack Allen streams. And I am on Instagram as well. Same thing, Instagram, LumberJack Allen streams. And then, yeah, just I think right now all I'm doing is finishing up Skyrim, and then I bounce between that and like Rocket League, and so nothing too crazy coming up, but just gonna keep streaming and keep playing games, and hopefully have a lot of fun doing it. But yeah, as far I'm thinking about doing some like charity streams, but that's well off in the future. I need to think about it more.
Okay. Well, cool. If you ever have questions about charity streams, let either of us know, or anyone else in like the Streamer 101 channel in True Gaming. There's a lot of us that do a lot of charity streaming.
Okay.
I just finished a month of it.
Nice.
All right, Mallet, where can we find you? What do you got going on with your stream? Anything fun, new, exciting?
I actually took the week off because this month has been so incredibly stressful that I felt I was going to either not talk to stream or throw something.
Hey, second Twitch tip of the week. If you feel like you need a break, take a break.
Yeah,
There's nothing wrong
been-
with it. Your mental health is more important.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And unfortunately, it's just been a very long month, and I haven't had any breaks on the weekend to recharge from the week.
I feel that.
And I'm on my third Sunday in a row singing at this point,
Oof.
which is interesting. So, which it wouldn't be that bad, except it's like up at ridiculous hours on Sundays. But anyway, continuing. I am not really doing anything all that fancy. Mondays are for murder as always. So Dead by Daylight. So we play Dead by Daylight. We hang people on meat hooks days.
That game scares me. Like I don't do horror.
It's so much fun.
I love that game.
That's where you just play the killer. Yeah, that's how you and I became friends. Playing that.
Was playing Dead by Daylight.
Yep. So and then Tuesdays we're still working our way through different Nancy Drew games. So that's a lot of fun. And I got my capture card in, so hopefully we'll be starting Breath of the Wild soon.
Exciting.
And because it was my birthday, they gave me a free download of Tetris. So
Nice.
Sweet. Well, cool. Guys, you can always find me here on my channel, or on Twitter, Instagram, Mr. Pure Instinct. Facebook is Mr. Pure Instinct TV for whatever reason. You can find me on all of those things. We do a lot of story-based games. Lately, we have been dabbling in creative streams and doing some video editing and creating alerts for other streamers, as well as their starting screens and all that kind of stuff. Today, we actually spent time creating a website and learning how to make
I'm gonna hit you up on
cinemagraphs.
that, by the way.
Please do.
The starting stream.
Yeah, I'm looking into getting more into that. So if that's something you're interested in, feel free to stop by twitch.tv/Mr. Pure Instinct anytime if you're not watching live. And if you are watching live and you came in late, or you want to just catch this entire episode again, it will be up Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern on your favorite podcasting platform, or YouTube if you'd prefer to watch the video. You can do that. Guys, thanks so much for joining me, Mallet, as always. LJ, dude, thanks for coming on. I'm glad we could get you on the episode. It was fun.
Thank you. Yeah, I had a blast.
Yeah, for sure, guys. So we'll be back next Thursday with another podcast. You can catch any of us on any of our channels throughout the week, streaming live, playing games, doing video editing, whatever we're doing. Having fun is the most important thing. As always, guys, we're going to raid someone, another true affiliate. I already have a friend in mind.
who we got?
We're going to raid Tim Timme. So Tim
Oh,
Timme
fun.
has been a longtime True Fan member, and he's a fun dude to hang out with. He's so kind and polite and just a great guy. So go hang out with Tim Timme. We'll be back next Thursday with a new live podcast, and the pre-recorded will be up on Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern. So guys, thanks for joining me again, and we'll see y'all next time. Bye.
Bye.